Hello everyone, how are you feeling today? It's Eros everyone here, and today I'm coming at you with my Dragunity deck profile. Yeah, I disappeared a little bit again. I kind of was in a little bit of few things. One of them was the wedding of a friend. The other things were like me thinking of the channel, future and stuff, like me taking care of my personal stuff in like case of like just searching a little bit of answers for some particular questions that I need to do for myself. It's just my own personal life, nothing major or crazy. I'm not depressed or something crazy like that. I need a few minutes to think, as well as like I think I need a little bit of a motivation, like I did last week, to come back to 100%, or not 100%, but trying to come back a little bit to Yu-Gi-Oh, just to being with my friends at my locals, I would call them, I guess, and it actually was kind of fun, and I guess that's the motivations that I needed. It's happening that sometimes you have like a little bit of a burnout, which is something I'm actually going to plan to talk about in my particular update, as well as this video specifically is also for a person who felt a burnout for like a month and a half, and that is my friend, or I guess I can call you friend right now if you're watching this, and that is Varric, which is called himself VK. I don't know, it's hard to me to pronounce his channel name, so I'm going to put it in the description down below. He's a very, very cool guy. I like him quite a bit. He's a very, very inventive as well. He kind of like took months and a half time from Yu-Gi-Oh because he felt like it's burnout, which actually make 100% sense. And this is pretty much a deck profile that I plan to do for a very long time, but then he, like a day before I decided to film this, it just, oh yeah, by the way, I'm back. So, and this is his favorite deck. And it's also one of my favorites, so I decided to like, yeah, sure, let's do this video for him as well. Also, one last thing, this deck profile is, I'm not 100% sure complete. It's kind of like my take after Cybernetic Horizon and before Savage Strike. I might need you guys' help in the comments down below if you think there is some particular text that I'm missing, because I actually didn't have a lot of time to sit on this deck and 100% perfect it. So without further ado, let's get started and see what you guys think. So starting things off with the monsters, we're starting off with 3 copies of Dragunity Armor Mistletoe. This guy is pretty important. Dragunity Armor Mistletoe has this kind of like, and actually every Dragunity monster have this kind of like overall gimmick that they're pretty much equip their tuners. Their tuner coming back and then they're going to synchros, at least there are better ones. And Dragunity Armor Mistletoe sends that like you pretty much can special discard from your hand, and it's not a hard once per turn, by sending a Dragunity monster you control to the graveyard, and then if this card is no or special summon from the hand, you pretty much get the ability to equip a Dragunity type monster to him, a Dragunity Dragon type monster to him as an equipment, which is really, really cool. And you can pretty much put the tuner that you pretty much use to summon him anyway to begin with, and just another beater on the board for your plays, which is really, really cool. Next up, 3 copies of Dux. Dux is probably the best normal summon in the deck. Dux is, when this card is normal summon, you equip a level 3 or lower Dragunity monster from your graveyard. You're probably going to equip your tuner, and pretty much that's the idea. He was the best monster of the deck, and he's still the best monster of the deck. Unfortunately, even if Sentinels is pretty good, this one is still the best monster of the deck, and yeah. So you want to actually see Dux immediately if you can. Next up for the new one, I'm running 2 copies of the Dragunity Sentinels. This is the new guy. Specifically right now is not as the best, you can say, because we don't have Guard Dragons, and he pretty much says that you discard a card, a Dragunity card, so it's like has to be Dragunity related, then equip 1 Dragon type Dragunity tuner from your deck, and then for the rest of the turn you cannot special summon any monsters except from Dragon types from your extra deck, which is, at least from your extra deck, it's like not your, it doesn't limit you on your, not extra deck monsters, but it's limiting you on extra deck to only have dragons, so that's why Guard Dragons are really, really good with this deck. And then if a Dragunity monster you control will be destroyed by battle by card effect, you can destroy 1 Dragunity card equipped to this card instead. So the idea of this card is really cool. I think it's a really, really cool thing that you get like a second Dux, I would say, in a case of like, equipment from the deck. But the problem with him, like I said, he kind of limiting you for only summon dragon from the extra deck, which unfortunately, until we'll get the Dragunity Link monsters, that's a little bit of a problem, because I need Great Fly, because that's my pretty much generic Link 2 monster, and we don't have Guard Dragon, so it's also a little bit of a problem. So For the time being, only 2 is enough, but one will get a Rumulus, if I think the name of the new Dragunity link. That actually will be perfect, and I would probably bump him up to 3. For the time being, you only need them at 2, in my opinion. Lastly, I'm running 1 copy of Legionnaire. Legionnaire is interesting. He's your, how should I say, your popper to deal with stuff, and probably going to be the placeholder that I'm going to switch for the 3rd one of these when I'll have the 3rd copy, and I'll think this one as the 3-off is actually okay. But he's actually kind of nice. He's pretty much the same as Dax when he's normal summon, and then he can pretty much send a Dragunity card, discard from the spell and trap zone, and then pretty much target one face-up monster on your opponent's side of the field, and then pretty much destroy it. And it's not the hard once per turn, so that's really cool. In general, it's pretty much here to just provide for you link fodder. You don't really use him for synchros or anything. He's just a cool card to help you deal with monsters, and just in general, like a nice normal summon overall. So that pretty much does it for the Winged Beast and cards that, like, you know, equip for Dragunity. Now we'll move on to the equipped tuners themselves. We start with 3 copies of Dragunity Phalanx and 3 Dragunity of Kaz. Pretty much both of them are the same thing. In the case of, like, you once per turn, and it's a soft once per turn, you can pretty much summon them from the spell and trap zone, because when they are equipped, so that's really cool. And then another thing, and that is, and it's a soft once per turn again, like I said. Another thing is that Dragunity Kaz have an additional effect compared to Phalanx. Phalanx only have that effect, so it's like in an immediate level 6 or level 8 synchro. Kaz only can used to be summoned for a Dragunity synchro summon. It doesn't restrict your link summon, but it does restrict your synchro summon. But he can make himself a level 4, which giving you a lot of utility to bring out either your level 10 new synchro monster, or in general just a really, really good card overall to pretty much go into your level 8, and just in general, he pretty much like support your and fuel your plays anyway. He's pretty much can be a level 2 or a level 4, so that's pretty much okay. But I would say the best one is still Phalanx. This is just a really, really nice boost overall. Then, for the one-off Dragunity tuner, which I run, is 1 copy of Ankylos. Ankylos is interesting one. He's pretty good in my opinion. He's giving you the ability that if you open up with like a brick Dragunity or whatever, like, you know, Sentinus, and you don't want to use Sentinus effect, or just in general, you open up with Armor Mistleton. Actually, Sentinus is not a good example. Like, you open up with Armor Mistleton and you want to summon it, but you don't have any other normal summon monster like a Dux or whatever, and you don't want to waste your normal summon on something stupid. You can pretty much summon him, equip the Armor Missile, equip him to the Armor Mistleton. Armor Mistleton will get the effect of like booting you another Dragunity. You get to special summon that one, go into a synchro, and then you're also getting another pop on top of that, that's pretty much what this card used for. Is a pop with Dragunity Divine Lance, which I am equipping directly from the deck. And another thing, like, it is a pretty good, like, you know, way to clear your way, and just a nice overall normal summon if you have to. And that pretty much does it for the Dragunity monsters. For the rest of the support, I run 2 copies of Mist Valley Baby Rock. You discard him, you get to special summon him, pretty simple. 2 copies of Garuda. Garuda is Banish a Wind, special summon, again pretty simple. Red Eyes Darkness, because you have dragons, I don't really need to go over that. And Zephyrus the Elite, because you have Dragon Ravine, you can discard him to the grave and get pretty much another search with his effect, because you bounce the Dragon Ravine back and get another monster. And that is pretty much it for the normal support that a lot of decks seen. The last one is actually 3 copies of a Symphonic Warrior guitar and 1 copy of Symphonic Warrior mics. I'm not 100% sure if I'm the first one who thought about this, so if anybody else thought about this engine as well, I am sorry if I'm stealing your idea, but I actually thought about this this morning myself, because I felt like, sometimes I need another way to send my Dragunity monsters from my hand to the graveyard, because that's why it's actually superior to Brilliant Fusion, because you run only 1 brick, and you also getting your tuners to the graveyard, or your, you know, you have 9 targets from your hands that you can send to the grave. And then it's also giving you another normal summon and a wind, which is really cool. And it's giving you another normal summon to make your Duxes and Phalanxes, and not Phalanxes, like making all of your monsters a little bit more alive. So that actually kind of helps overall. So I actually like this engine. If you guys think like you don't really like to run the Symphonic Warrior engine, or just want to run Brilliant Fusion, or whatever they are called, Sky Strikers, or whatever, if you have the money, you're more than welcome to. I just specifically don't have the money for engages. And that pretty much does it for the monsters. Now we'll move on to the spells. So first off, 3 copies of Dragon Ravine. Do I need to even explain to you guys why Dragon Ravine is important in a Dragunity deck? Because if I do, then we have a problem. Then 2 copies of Terraforming to search the Dragon Ravine. I think the state that Terraforming is right now at 2. I think it's absolutely okay. I might actually see Terraforming being bumped down to 1 in the next list, because I'm seeing a lot of, like, coming up specific searchers for an archetype field spell, a lot of popping up, but for the time being it's actually kind of okay until we'll get Romulus. When we'll get Romulus, even 1 will be fine, but it still kind of hurts the deck overall if we're getting only 1 Terraforming. But for the time being, this lineup of like field spell and Terraforming is kind of okay, and that's what you need. You want Dragon Ravine. Dragon Ravine is very, very important. Next up, for the Equip spell for Dragunity, and probably the only good Dragunity related spell or trap, which there are only 2, and that is pretty much 3 copies Dragunity Divine Lance. This is an OTK engine by himself, I would say that. It's boosting your monster for its level double 100, it's giving you another tuner directly from the deck, and he just a really, really good card overall. So 3 copies of Divine Lance. Now, maybe in the future, like I said, Romulus, again, I might cut this card down to 2, but for the time being, 3, I want to see this card in my opening hand if I can see it, because it's, like I said, it's an OTK engine by himself. It will just really help you to get over monsters. And that's pretty much it for that. Now we'll move on to the rest of the generic spells. 1 copy of Foolish Burial and 1 copy of Dragon Shrine to see your dragons in the graveyard, or just in general any card you want in the graveyard. I decided to only run 1 Dragon Shrine and not 2 because I don't have space, and just I don't want to have bricks on top of that. And then 2 copies of Card of Coincidence for my draw power and discard my Dragon Tuners in my hand, so putting them in the graveyard where they belong and get a refreshed hand, so that's really cool. Then 1 copy of Monster Reborn and Soul Charge to round off the spells. Now, I did actually want to run also Raigeki and Twin Twisters and stuff like that, but like, not sure A, how much useful they are, B, it just, I don't have the space. But I would say like Soul Charge is kind of like a half useful card, because the problem is like, if I'm going second, it doesn't really help. If I'm going first, it can help me actually build a pretty good board overall. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the spell lineup. Now we'll move on to the extra deck. So for the extra deck, let's start off with the obvious. I run 2 copies of Dragunity Vadriana. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. I don't think I need to explain why Vadriana is important. This card is really well known for being one of the most known Dragunity monsters. 2 copies of Guy Durg, I believe his name is pronounced. Guy Durg is very, very useful. There are a lot of people who think you maybe need to run him at 1, but I actually love him at 2, because this card is pretty much like you're searching for your, like, it's pretty much like taking your Mist Valley Baby Rock directly from your deck, sending it into the graveyard, and then getting him another one. It's like, it's pretty much the one that you want to go when you're going first, because you don't want to waste your Vadrianas. You want to waste your Guy Durg and turn them into your Crystal Wings if you're going first. And same you're going to do with Vadriana, but like Vadriana is like an your attacking booster, so you want to have this one, I think, instead if you're trying to like synchro climb. And then we also run 1 copy of Guy Bolg. Guy Bolg is probably a placeholder until I get Barcha, I guess, but it's still pretty nice because he's giving you the ability to pretty much protect yourself from Bala overall. He's like, he's making himself 3800 with the highest attacking winged beast that we have, and just a really nice floater to fight into from your big boss monster, which we'll get to it in a second. Then the last one is 1 copy of Dragunity Loon. Dragunity Loon is but he's actually going to become a lot more better when we'll get into Romulus. When we'll get into Romulus, he's actually going to become really nice in terms of like being a Divine Lance by himself, in the case of like boosting your monsters by 1,000. Now, he's pretty much going to be better if you're running the trap, but I don't run the trap because I think the trap is a little bit of bad. And that's pretty much it for the level 6s. Like I said, I also need to find myself of running 1 copy of Barcha, but I don't have Barcha. But the last Dragunity monster I run is 1 copy of Ascalon. Again, a card that I want to bump up to 2. Also, we'll see when we'll get to that, when we'll get to the Guard Dragons. But for the time being, for the pure variant, you want this card up to 2. I only have, sadly, the 1. This card is absolutely awesome. It's giving you the ability to pretty much pop everything your opponent have, like banish everything they have in terms of monsters, which is really cool. 3,300 monster. You can make it to 43 with the effect of Divine Lance, and with this one to 53 when we'll get Romulus, because it will make it a lot more easier to fly into this. And, you know, just, you'll see when we'll get to combos with Romulus when we'll get him. And then he also have the ability when he dies, pretty much giving you the choice to go to a particular Dragunity extra deck monster, which is actually really cool. And it's counted as a synchro summon, so it's actually giving you the ability to use, for example, Vadriana effect to get the equip effect that it has. So pretty cool. Ascalon. I need to run a second one, but unfortunately I don't have a second one. And that pretty much does it for the Dragunity synchro monsters. For the more generic stuff, I run 2 copies of Crystal Wing. I don't think I need to explain. Crystal Wing is amazing. You want to run 2, at least for the time being. 1 copy of Stardust Dragon for me being going first, and also protecting my monsters. I really like Stardust Dragon. If you want another level 8 synchro, you're more than welcome to. And then the last one I actually run is actually a weird thing, but it's actually helped me clean the board with my opponent's stuff. And that's 1 copy of Vulcan the Divine. It's a weird choice and it's a weird option, but like sometimes I actually want to protect my Dragon Ravine and I stopped using my Dragon Ravine and I don't want my opponent to pop my Dragon Ravine, so that's a cool way to just bounce your Dragon Ravine and save it for next turn even though you cannot activate it right now. And it's also giving you the ability to either use himself for the bounce or just get rid of an annoying monster. Just get rid of it. It help you break out Nightmare Extra Link because they don't have Goblin now, which is really cool. And like I said, it's a really good card overall. I think it's a little bit of underrated. I don't think it's like, you know, in the future I'm probably going to cut him down, but I like Vulcan the Divine for the time being. So yeah, if you guys have another tech choice, you're more than welcome to run it. And that pretty much does it for the synchros. For the links, 1 copy for Underclock Taker because you can OTK with it. 2 copies of Great Fly because Great Fly is your signature link monster for the time being until we'll get Romulus. And then 1 copy of Decon Talker because it's another way to link climb. I don't want to run more link monsters, at least for the time being, until we'll test the deck a little bit more, because I feel it will become a lot more link related than synchro related, and that will be kind of a shame, because it doesn't go to stay with the spirit of the deck. But yeah, that pretty much does it for my Dragunity deck profile. Like I said, hope you guys enjoyed. I hope I did it well for your guys' taste. I'm hoping it's actually stand to your standards. Like I said, if you have any kind of like, you know, comments to help me improve, I will more than happy to hear them in the comments down below. Of course, only building comments and not just saying this deck profile sucks, because I don't like to listen to those. I think they're just does not help, and just taking your rage out and just doesn't help to make a better channel on YouTube and, you know, make me able to create for you better content. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoy, especially you, Varric. Hope it gave you the ability and put you up to speed what your Dragunity monsters, the new ones, need to do and how you can use them in your own new deck. And if you have your own tech choices, that's totally fine. See you guys next time. Remember, creativity is the key in this game. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you enjoyed the channel, and keep yourself notified by the notification bell. Bleh. And like I said, see you guys next time. I'm probably going to do the video of update pretty soon. We'll see when we're going to happen. I'm hoping next week. And yeah, I'm going to talk about very, very important stuff. So I'll keep you guys notified. So see you guys next time. Have a good day.